Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. And yes, we are going to discuss buttons and charm strings today. And two things I want to discuss. One is how I incorporated my family charm strings into our holiday traditions, as I usually do. And number two, why I thought it was important to create a charm string for a man. Yes, a man, mainly, okay, my husband, yes. So here's our dancing snowman tree. Okay, it doesn't really dance, but I'm kind of dancing because every time I see it with its arms out, I feel like it could dance. At night it comes alive. It's Frosty's cousin, Dancer McDancy. But anyway, on the tree, you'll notice there are several charm strings. Hopefully that's coming in clear enough and it's not too blurry. These are some of my longer, larger charm strings. And yes, I use them as garland. The other thing I've done throughout the years is I have used them to hang on our fireplace mantle. And yes, we live in New England, so that is snow and ice that you see outside on the ground. We have these floor to ceiling or ceiling to floor, I'm not sure which is correct, windows, so they're huge. So that's why I am actually sitting on the floor. Ta-da! And you can see outside. So yeah, so there's several of these on the tree, and I had so many compliments on these this year. People were like, oh my God, what an amazing idea. I've never heard of charm strings before. Tell me the history. And you know me, a button lover, I was happy to do so. So that's one thing I wanted to discuss, is how you can keep incorporating these in your life, even throughout the holidays. And it's a great way when you're talking about the memories of grandma, your mom, your aunts, your sisters, your sister friends, whatever. But also what I thought about is, what about the men in your life that were truly good dudes that deserve to be recognized with such a beautiful memory that could be passed down throughout the generations, and also could be used throughout the holiday season, not just, of course, as a display as I do throughout the year. So first of all, my daughter makes the most amazing handmade greeting cards of all types. So this card, she completely made this by hand, her own design, concept, art, etc. If you're ever interested in anything like this for any type of occasion, please let me know by sending me an email. And if you are one of our regular subscribers that watches the majority of our videos, you don't have to watch them all. And if you also, leave comments on a regular basis, I will have her create one for you for free. Or if you would like to, you can donate to the cause. She is a starving law student who is a Dean Scholar on top of it all. And so, but you don't need to send us anything unless you absolutely want to, but we will definitely send you a card for free if you're one of those types of regular subscribers to the channel. So what I decided to do, and my husband was totally surprised that when he saw this, he opened it up in the box. Of course, he had absolutely no idea that he was going to have one of these ever in his lifetime. But I created for him a charm string based upon some of his life's accomplishments, things that he likes. The only thing that I was missing were the sports references. So I will say that out loud. So that's where my video on how to add danglers to your charm string is important, because I will be able to find some of his favorite sports, like little bits and bobs over the years, or hopefully be able to just find something quickly in his own personal stuff, which is where I got most of the stuff that you see on here, most of these items, these bits and bobs. I raided his jewelry boxes. I looked in some of his military stuff and his drawers, nightstand. I didn't look in his nightstand, but I looked in one of his drawers in particular where he just keeps a miscellaneous minutia, and I found most of the items I could use, including buttons, obviously, from my collections of buttons, to add to his Charmstring. So I think that, that's something that we should do, is look at the dudes that deserve it. Like, I don't make these just because. I make them for people who had some sort of profound effect on my life, or who were positive influences, who I feel deserve to have these. And that's why I made them. So in this case, my husband, we've been married for decades at this point, and I guess he's a keeper. So I decided to go ahead and shockingly surprise him, which is hard for me to do at this point. And here you go. So on here, what you'll find are, like I said, lots of bits and bobs. We love dogs. And this little terrier button is made of mother of pearl, and it was actually given to me by a beautiful viewer of ours, and she gave me the most amazing collection of buttons, and also some other miscellaneous bits and bobs in there I was able to use, because she knew about my love and appreciation of them, and it was just really such a touching, nice thing for her to do. Hi, Mrs. M, aka Mrs. C. And so, ta-da, one of our dog's licenses. And of course, like I said, there's lots of military references in here because he was in the military for so many years, decades plus. Also, there are things in here that relate to his 30-year career, professional career, and other things that he likes. So, that is what this is all about. We traveled a lot. We don't travel as much because he is working his way towards retirement soon. But as soon as he retires and we take a couple of years to do some other projects that we planned on, we will be traveling again. And we do travel now, but it's just not as extensively. Ergo, the airplane right there. Yes. This airplane, I will tell you the story about this. I don't know if you could, and I created a dangler out of this one. The reason that I added this airplane is the gods are amazing. They really are. On our wedding day, when we were flying to some islands for our honeymoon, we were doing like a tour of the islands. Our airplane literally was struck by lightning. It fell, I don't know, I think they said it was like 3,000 or plus feet out of, straight down. We were about 30,000 feet up in the air, and we went down to about 26 something. So we fell 3,000 plus feet straight down, to the point that back then they used to serve you actual meals on the airplane, like real food and real, with real dishes. So dishes were all over the place. The beverage cart had been tipped over, one of them. Airline stewardesses were tossed asunder. We were unseatbelted at that point because we were allowed to be, but they did say if you didn't feel comfortable, you could keep your seatbelt on, and we always kept our seatbelt on. But, people had been tossed about. Babies I think there was only like 2 babies or young kids on this airplane because we were on a red eye. And, there were a couple kids that were crying. It was a mess. Mask fell out of the little thing, which I always wondered if that really happened. Yeah, it's a thing. It really happens. And so that's why I attached this airplane to his Charmstring, because it is very possible we could have been remains at the bottom of an ocean right now, a really pretty aqua blue, marine, turquoisey type colored ocean, but still an ocean. And thankfully we survived. I remember thinking, are you kidding me right now? This is how I'm going to die? I remember thinking those exact words. And thankfully the gods were like, nope, we're going to lift this plane lightly and let you proceed to your stop. And we couldn't stop anywhere because we were over the ocean, and the next stop was actually one of the islands we were headed for. So we had an excellent pilot and crew, and we did arrive safely to our destination. It was really quiet on the airplane after that, I will have to say, and this is before the advent or the invention of cellular phones. Yes, I mean, not really. They had like the big suitcase cellular phones, and then for a while they had nothing. And then after, I'm going to say maybe 5-6 years later came the first versions of a cellular phone. So I'm just telling you that's how long ago it was. So yeah, that was interesting. So that's why I had to tell you about this dangler. That's why it's there. So you can see, like, the Charmstring should tell a story. You should be able to sit there and look at things and be able to tell a story about that particular thing, or not necessarily every button on here, but this button actually came from something that his mother had given our child. And so, like I said, you should be able to go through and tell stories about these things. That's what makes a Charmstring, is sort of like a storybook of someone's life. And so why is this keychain here? Because the first brand new vehicles that we went in with the intention of purchasing one vehicle, and ended up buying 2 vehicles on the same day for cash. And that was fun. And we've done it one more time since then. Other times we bought vehicles separately, but yeah, that's why that's there. And that's from that particular trip. So yeah, you can see the stories can be interesting. What I like, this is an item I won't go into in great detail, but one of the cool things about this, it's from the military. They don't make these anymore. And actually there was a issue, whereas the earbuds that used to go in here actually would cause partial deafness in the military dudes and gals. And one of the cool things, though, besides that about this, because that's not really a cool thing, is that this opens, so you can actually put other little memory things or even teeny tiny notes in here as part of your Charmstring. And this is a story I could tell you about Mexico. You can see the little teddy bear. He's there for a reason. The zipper is there for a reason. Okay, not that reason, people. Get your minds out of the gutter. Why is the green enamel button there? Because green is my husband's favorite color. So it goes on and on and on. So when you're creating Charmstrings, they're not just for women, I will say, anymore. And nor did they ever really have to be, but obviously we know that these were created really out of sort of a sexist reason, and the women didn't realize that it was sexist when they were creating it, if you think about it. But these are really cool history lessons, a way for you to tell stories to your grandkids, your own kids, neighbors, friends, whoever it is, so that person always has a story. And basically this is a new version of a book, if you think of it that way. This is from my husband's first brand new car. So yeah, just, some things to keep it. He loves buffalo nickels, so that's why this was a buffalo nickel that was modified to become, like, someone made them into buttons. I have a couple of those on there. And in the fact that he also likes coins like I do, that's why that's there. Super old button from something that was in his family. It's just a button. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you found this to be interesting. And yes, the heart button is a signature of our love as a family of 3. meaning my husband, my child, and me. And on the back of this, look what I did. I stacked a couple buttons. I did another area in here where there's some button stacking that went on. I can't find it right now, but yeah, I did like a lot of different things to this to make it interesting. And as he was looking at it, and as someone who loves the moon, the stars, and he's also always talking about things that have to do with like the different types of moons. Bam, there you go. You know, he, once again, was very excited about this, and he was like, now I can have one on the table with yours and Daisy's. Daisy is our daughter. And I was like, yes, I guess we could put yours on the table. Of course, that's where it's going to go. But like I said, every year it'll be also hung somewhere out here with the things that we use to decorate for the holidays. So I will give you one last look at our gigantic snowman tree. He is huge. He is so tall and so wide. But yeah, we decided to go with a non-traditional tree because, I don't know, we just did. We saw this tree and we just were like, we're going wild. And this is pretty wild. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Velvet Lounge Life. And I hope this year brings you everything that you need to be healthy so that you can go out there and do whatever it is you need to do to fulfill your dreams, to live a realistic but fun and adventurous life, and also so that you can enjoy the future at the highest power. So be well. Remember that health is wealth. Give us a thumbs up. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of amazing prize gifts, giveaways that we're doing this year, and I want to make sure that people who support the channel have an opportunity to win some of these things. And I did a video where I discussed, you know, some of the changes for 2020. In that video, that's where you'll learn about how you can be one of the people to receive some of our silver, our gold, our American 90% silver coins, and some other things that we're giving away as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe.